Welcome to the 151st Cheltenham Festival. It's a wonderful occasion. It's the highlight of the year here at Gloucestershire, and I'm delighted to be joined here by Jack Russell. Jack, welcome.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
Jack, you've got many memories of playing here as well, haven't you?
Oh, so many. It's too many to mention, but it's one of the great grounds, really. One of the great grounds in the country, and used to love playing here. We used to look for the festival fixtures at the start of the season, see who we were playing. So it was always a highlight of the year, and magic. A lot of magic happened here. It's a great place to play.
And your first time here?
Early 80s, going back a bit now. Yeah, I think one of the early games was against Yorkshire. I think I misstumped Geoffrey Boycott, I'm sure, in that game. I got a feeling he reminded me not long ago, actually, when I saw him. So, but just great times. Just magic days, really, because it was always, it's a great stage to play anyway, and the wickets were always good cricket wickets. So if you batted well, you got value for shots. If you didn't bowl in the right area, you got hit. And a lovely place to keep wicket, nice bounce generally. Some pitches would turn and bounce, which was nice. From a technical point of view, as yours, you have to work a bit higher as a keeper. There were never any low balls here, so the ball was a great place to keep wicket. And we had some magic times here, some great games, and it's just so rewarding that if you did your disciplines well, batting, bowling or fielding, the place looked after you. It was great, and also with the crowds and everything, because there was always a magic atmosphere. The ground was always full, the tents were always full, got very noisy in the afternoons, so the atmosphere was always great, and we used to sit by the pavilion there and in with the crowd almost. So it's just a magic, and everybody loves. The players love it and the crowd love it.
Yeah, well, I think it might get a bit lively here later on. You're here as well on a reunion, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't do many reunions, but we're here for the. I don't know. Can't really tell you how it came about. Really, sort of by accident. But our old coach, the old county coach, Graham Wiltshire, used to look after us in the 70s, and the youth system then days. We were called the young cricketers. So we're all teenagers, and one or two of us have played second 11 cricket, but mainly sort of 15, 16-year-olds. And we used to spend 2 weeks in the pavilion down at Bristol, sleeping in sleeping bags, and 2 weeks cricket playing other counties' young cricketers. I remember playing against Glamorgan young cricketers, and that was the youth system in those days. And Graham Wiltshire, our old coach, sadly passed away. One or two of us sort of got together on social media, all by accident really, and said, why don't we try and get together? So it's been, I can't work the figures out, but 1979, 1980 is the group that are coming today, about 8 or 10 of us, and we're just going to have a bit of a reminisce and probably raise a glass to our old coach, Graham Wiltshire.
Yeah, fantastic. You made your Gloucestershire debut in 1981, was that right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's quite a while ago now, and you've been doing work with James Bracey as well, who's just signed a new contract this week, and it's fantastic for the club, isn't it?
He's such a talent, isn't he? And I love his attitude. His attitude is just it's just first class, and anybody that works with him will tell you that his enthusiasm, his love for the game, love for scoring runs, love for keeping wicket is great, and he's getting better all the time. And I just had a quick word with him. He says his keeping's going in the right direction. He's quite happy with that. He'd like a few more runs, but wouldn't we all? And I did say to him, it's hard sometimes to do really well at both. You know, at the same time, it's not an easy thing to do. It's a bit like being an all-rounder. Some days you get runs, some days you get wickets. So, but he's a great fighter. In fact, these bunch of lads they're all great fighters, and you know, hopefully they'll turn things around and get on a good run now.
Yeah. Talking of fighting, we've currently got England versus Australia at Old Trafford, 1989. You've got 100 there against the 89 Aussies, who are a really good side. Can you remember that one?
I do remember it well, yeah. In fact, with the Test match being at Old Trafford this week, it's sort of brought back a few memories. I've got a special love for Old Trafford because of that. We played some great games there with Gloucester as well. We've had some cracking games over the years, but to play against the Aussies and get 100 is quite. Sometimes I have to pinch myself that it actually really happened, because the Ashes is something special, and it was just great to be part of that series in '89. The actual important innings also was the one at Lord's a couple of tests before, when I got 64 not out.
Yeah, I remember
because that. I was on the edge of it. If you had two bad games in those days, you generally got dropped. I think we had about 30 odd players that series anyway, but I managed to stay in for most of the Test matches, and the 64, if I hadn't got the 64, I might not have got the 100. So that was an important innings, but the 100 at Old Trafford was great. And the Aussies weren't talking to us then. They had this blanket non-communication thing because they wanted the Ashes back because we'd been beating them a few times there and down under. And Alan Border was really strict on his players. You don't mix or chat with the opposition. But when I got the 100, he came up and shook my hand, actually on the field of play. So that was a special moment.
Yeah, and the hat, it survived a near burning experience, I believe. Is that correct?
The hat survived a lot of near misses over the years. Yeah, the hat, I've still got it. I still need to know where it is 24 hours a day, otherwise I have a panic attack. So it's still in. I wouldn't say it was in good shape, but it's still alive. Yeah, that's quite a long story. I put it in an oven in Barbados on an England tour, trying to starch it and make the brim a bit more stiff, and basically it caught fire, and I had to rebuild it 2 days before the test match.
Fantastic. Well, Jack, it's been fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the festival. It's been great to see you, and we look forward to a wonderful game of cricket out here between Gloucestershire and Glamorgan.